Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's makeup review. Today we are taking a look at a complexion product by Urban Decay. This is Urban Decay's Stay Naked HYDROMANIAC Tinted Glow Hydrator, which they say has medium coverage and up to 24-hour wear. It says it has kombucha, filtre, and marula oil in it. I have mine in the shade 20 Fair. This is, would you classify this as a foundation tinted moisturizer type situation? I find it really weird that it doesn't say, like, it just says tinted glow hydrator. Like, I feel like it should specify that it's a foundation or a tinted moisturizer or whatever, but it doesn't. This product launched from Urban Decay a couple of years ago, and I've actually been interested in trying it since it launched, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it launched sort of towards the beginning of 2020, if you know what I mean, and at that time, like, I wasn't leaving the house very much, and I just couldn't rationalize buying a new complexion product. And anyway, now that I don't have a job and I never leave the house, I bought it. It does retail for $44.50 Canadian, which is on the lower end for a Sephora available foundation, and on the lower end for Urban Decay, which I find interesting. Like, the classic naked palette for like $80, which I think is extreme. So then when I looked at the price of this and it was only $44.50, I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know? Taking a quick look at it on the Sephora website, it comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16 shades, but like I said, it is kind of lighter coverage, so maybe you can kind of play with that a little bit. About the product, what it is: a vegan, non-comedogenic, dewy foundation that delivers hydration, medium coverage, and a fresh glow finish up to 24 hours. How to use: apply the tinted moisturizer foundation with your fingers and blend outward from the center of your face to build coverage as you desire. For extra coverage, add more product and diffuse with a brush. And for an extra sheer glow and added staying power, mix with the face primer, which I don't do. So I have worn this with a brush before, but my preferred method is definitely to blend it out with my fingers. Now, I will say when I first put it on, it almost looks too light for me. It has a little bit of almost like a white cast. But one of the things that these Sephora employees told me when I bought this, that I will tell you now, is that it does have a tendency to dry darker. So if I had bought the shade that I thought matched me in the store, there's a possibility that it would have oxidized and gone a little bit orange. So keep that in mind. If you have to choose to go either lighter or darker, go lighter with this, because it does go a little bit darker. And I just feel like as I wear it, it warms up to my skin and blends in better. That first application, I'm a little bit like, ooh, I almost look a little bit like I've been embalmed. But an hour or so later, I look fine. I am somebody with combination skin, so I kind of oily in my T-zone and then really dry on my cheeks here. So this hydrator really does help those sort of drier areas. I will say maybe the only downside to this product, and something that actually does really bug me, like I'm still going to use it and I might buy it again someday, but it does bother me, is that on my more oily areas, it gets really shiny. Like, if I don't keep powdering and blotting and that sort of thing, I'm like reflective, like a disco ball. At this point in time, my skin is actually better than usual. I don't have too many breakouts or anything, so it's not really emphasizing texture or anything like that in those glowy areas. But just keep that in mind. If your skin does lean more oily, this is not the product for you. You're going to feel like a grease ball. Even right now, just sitting here, like I just powdered my T-zone for the video, but I wish I would have blotted because I feel oily right here. But on my drier areas, I feel great. I feel hydrated. I feel plump. I feel great. So if you're drier skin, 100% try this out. Do they still do samples at Sephora? Can you go there and get a sample? I don't know. I typically like Urban Decay products. They typically have really great stuff and they're not afraid to use color, and so overall I felt pretty good about trying this. I thought it would be good, and so far so good. I know I mentioned that when I first put it on it looks a little bit white, and then I wait an hour or so and it blends in with my skin. I don't notice a particular breakdown of this product throughout the day. So as of right now, I've had this product on since 10 o'clock this morning, and it's 4 p.m. now, so I'll still have it on for a little bit, so that's 6 hours, and my skin still looks great. Like, it still looks the same as it did an hour after I put it on when it started to look nice. So it's not breaking down, but again, it's not super high coverage unless you want to build it up in a spot, which I prefer not to. I'd rather go in with a concealer if there's a spot or something. I like the sort of, they call it like medium full coverage. I don't agree with that. I think of it more like medium or light. It just kind of gives me like a nice sort of veil of one color on my skin to kind of tone down any sort of redness or difference or whatever. And then, like I said, I can put a concealer on spots or a little bit under my eyes like I have today to kind of brighten up some of the darker spots. So overall, I mean, at the time when I remembered this existed and I bought it, I was looking at other tinted moisturizers at Sephora that are crazy expensive, like twice this price, and I was like, what where do these brands get off charging all this money for these expensive products, right? But then I saw this one. It was at a more affordable, not affordable, but more affordable than some of the other ones at $44. There's a fair amount of product in here. It's got a sort of squeezy tube end, so I squeeze it into my fingers and then I put it on, which really lets me control what areas and how much I use. So I find that I'm not using very much product every day, and it's got sort of just like a moisturizer consistency, but you can really spread it out with your fingers and then go in with a sponge after if you want. So it's very easy to apply. It's very user friendly. There's no pump, no dipping in with a doe foot or anything. It's very easy to apply, and it looks great. I just would not recommend it if you have oily, tending skin at all. You have to be fairly dry for this because it's got a lot of hydration in it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Urban Decay. I just call it the HYDROMANIAC thing usually because it's Stay Naked HYDROMANIAC Tinted Glow Hydrator. Like, that's too long of a name. Overall, I really like it. I like the packaging. I like how it wears. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. The shade range isn't the best, but maybe because it's sheerer coverage, you can make it work if you're maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, I don't know. Just keep in mind that you should probably look for a shade that's a little bit lighter than you, because it might dry a little bit darker or maybe even a little bit orange if it doesn't match your skin. Go in the store and test it out. That's what I did. I tested this shade and the one darker on my hand, and ultimately the employee helped me decide that this was the right shade, and my skin in these areas is what I like to focus on helping because it's so dry. So that's why I bought it, but obviously it's up to you and your skin, and maybe Sephora still does samples, so maybe you can get a sample if you want to, but overall I like this. I'm glad I bought it. I don't regret it, and I will be not returning it. I will be keeping it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you next time.